Will the graduates and family hooders please take your seats? The program will start shortly. Dear families, friends, and guests of our candidates, would you please be seated and observe silence? My name is Dr. Danny Hanna, Interim Assistant Dean for Clinical Affairs. It is with great pleasure that I welcome the family members and friends of our graduates to the University of Illinois, Chicago College of Dentistry 2023 commencement ceremony. I offer my sincere congratulations to our graduating class. They have all worked hard and accomplished so very much. On behalf of the faculty and staff, we also would like to congratulate and thank the family and friends who have nurtured and supported our graduates. We have had the pleasure of working with them and, like you, are so proud of their accomplishments. For today's program, I will serve as your Master of Ceremonies. To ensure that everyone enjoys this meaningful event, please take a moment now to turn off and mute all cell phones or other electronic devices. I would also ask that you please remain in your seats during the entire commencement ceremony. Be assured that today's program will be captured on video and that each graduate will be individually photographed. Thank you for adhering to these requests. After the ceremony, you are all welcome to join us at the College of Dentistry reception along with your graduate. The college is located at the corner of Polk and Paulina Streets. The College of Dentistry commencement will begin with the procession of the platform party and faculty. the platform party, faculty marshals Dr. Scott Tomar and Dr. Wendy Cerny will lead the College of Dentistry faculty. Honored guests, faculty of the College of Dentistry, graduates, families, friends, and guests of our candidates, I hereby convene this commencement of the UIC College of Dentistry. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand if you are able and honor our freedom as Dr. Jordan Pierce sings our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say
Thank you, Dr. Pierce. Over the past years, we have lost members of our college family. We would like to take a moment of silence to honor and recognize them. In the spirit of building a better future and healing, I would like to take a few moments to acknowledge that UIC resides on the traditional territories of the three fire peoples, Ojibwe, Odawa, and Potawatomi. This area was also a site of trade, gathering, and healing for more than a dozen other native tribes. What's more, the state of Illinois is currently home to more than 75,000 tribal members, and the Chicagoland area is currently home to one of the largest and most diverse urban native communities in the U.S. We recognize that indigenous people are the traditional stewards of the land and that we now occupy. Living here long before Chicago was a city and still thriving here today. As we work together today on these territories and in the year ahead, we must remember our responsibility, especially as a land grant and Asian American and Native American Pacific Islander serving institution, Hispanic serving institution, and minority serving institution, to find ways to right the historic wrongs of colonialization and state violence, and to build bridges with and support indigenous communities' struggles for self-determination and sovereignty. I would like to take a moment to introduce our honored guests for today's ceremony. Dr. Nick P. Jones, Executive Vice President and Vice President for Academic Affairs of the University of Illinois System. Dr. Javier Reyes, Interim Chancellor of the University of Illinois, Chicago. Dr. Robert Barish, Dr. Robert Barish, Vice Chancellor for Health Affairs. Dr. Joanna Groden, Vice Chancellor for Research. And Dr. Lunaire Ford, Assistant Dean for the Graduate College. I now have the distinct honor of introducing Dr. Javier Reyes, Interim Chancellor of the University of Illinois, Chicago. Javier Reyes serves as Interim Chancellor of the University of Illinois, Chicago, leading Chicago's largest and only R1 public research university, indicating the highest level of research activity. Dr. Reyes has been committed to expanding on UIC's inclusive campus culture, pioneering spirit, while realizing the university's vision to transform lives by eliminating disparities in economic opportunities, health, and education. Prior to his appointment as Interim Chancellor, Dr. Reyes became Provost and Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs at UIC in August 2021. In his role, Dr. Reyes served as UIC's Chief Academic Officer to advise on matters of academic policy, strategic direction, enrollment management, and academic resource planning. Most recently, Dr. Reyes was appointed Chancellor of the University of Massachusetts Amherst, where he will take his strong commitment to the principles of diversity, equity, and inclusion in support of a brighter future for everyone across the university community and ultimately society. Dr. Reyes received his bachelor's degree in economics from, oh boy, I studied French, the Instituto Tecnológico y de Estudios Superiores de Monterrey, pardon my French, and his doctorate in economics from Texas A&M University. Please welcome Interim Chancellor Javier Reyes.
Thank you very much for a wonderful introduction. And you're right, the Instituto Tecnológico de Estudios Superiores de Monterrey, it's a mouthful. So I apologize. We'll make changes to that part of the introduction for sure. But thank you, everyone. It's a pleasure to welcome you here to UIC, to your university. As you know, this is a proud day, one that sometimes people sometimes don't understand. These are long ceremonies, but for us, the faculty, the students, the families, this is at the climax of something that is so big that it's sometimes hard to bottle the energy and take it with you. But I invite those grads here today and their families to try to do that. Bottle the energy you have today and bring it with you wherever you go, because there'll be days in which you'll need it. So I wanna say that out loud one time. But I want to just give us a quick try. I mean, this is, again, very ceremonial, very serious ceremony. But we also need to get a little bit loud, and we also need to make sure that you are letting that energy go a little bit. So I want to give a big round of applause for all the people in the audience. Big round of applause for our class of 2023. Woohoo! Nicely done. Let it go all out, all of it. There we go. Very good. Thank you for participating and the willingness to engage with this ceremony. Truly an honor to have you here, and welcome to your commencement ceremony for the spring of 2023. I also want to welcome everyone who's not here today that could be watching us and streaming live stream. It's an honor to have you here as well virtually. You our grads of 2023, you have earned your degrees and all the benefits and opportunities that come with your successful completion of your studies. You worked hard, you fulfilled the commitment you made when you began this journey, and you reached this day having faced many challenges, more than many generations who came before you. As you know, over the past 2 years, the world stopped, start, and it was really characterized by the pandemic. It was characterized by an important part of our principles as a university, as UIC, when it comes to racial and social justice. And we have stood up with all of you to ensure that that movement continues to define this university. Being graduates of UIC, you know what social justice is. You're part of a university that is focused on it, and that its movement that we've seen over the past few years has resonated with us. You should also be proud of the role that your university played throughout these 2 years of the pandemic, these last 3 years of the pandemic, when vaccines were distributed, care was given, and many people outside of the healthcare system would not understand this, but you are part of that healthcare system, that you saw your disciplines and your efforts continue as part of providing care for our city and our students, our staff, and our communities. You should be very proud of that, and I know that I want to thank someone that played an incredible role in that, 2 individuals that I know played an incredible role through all of this, which would be Dr. Barish and Dean Rowan. So if you could give me a glass of applause. So the fact that you're here to cross the stage, to walk across the stage when your name is called, is a testament to your success. But as others will remind you here today, and I'm sure you know this to be true, there's a lot of people that played a role in your success today. I would say over the past few years, you will have interacted a lot with a faculty set that saw their world change overnight as well, and took the commitment of maintaining the level of excellence and the level of access to your education, and switched to do it in any way possible to do it. So I know that it wasn't easy. I know that we're still going through the motions of what the world is after COVID. But the fact that you're here today, graduating with all the credentials, certifications, and recognition that you deserve for your efforts after going through this pandemic, is in a big part because of what the faculty of the College of Dentistry and the faculty across UIC did for all of us. So if you could help me thank the faculty for their efforts. I don't want to forget our frontline workers and people across the university who kept us going through that and ensure that our labs, especially in colleges like the College of Dentistry, maintain its process, maintain its continuity, and we're able to continue doing the work. So I want to thank our frontline workers as well. Now, the next part, it really boils down to no one does this alone. And during your studies at USC, you were climbing a hill, and many times you needed a hand. It could have been a phone call, it could have been an email, it could have been FaceTime now that we have that. And I want you to remember that as you go through your life. There will be moments in which you were able to turn right, turn left, and see one of your classmates ready to lend a hand, ready to provide support. You were able to look at your phone and you had that text from that spouse, that partner, that mom, that dad, the brother, siblings, uncles that were there to support you. So I want you to never forget that you don't do this alone. And this celebration is as much as it's for you, as well as for your classmates, for you, and all the people behind us today. So grads, please stand up, turn to your parents, your spouses, everyone who's here to support you, and thank them for their support. Very good. I want to leave you with one important thought. During your course of your time at UIC, you have had to innovate like no other class before you and in your lifetime, to be honest. As such, I want to quote the famous word of what someone believed to be a fictional character, except today, on May the 4th, which I want to say, may the force be with you. But you may not agree that it's a fictional character, but Yoda once said, "Do or do not. There is no try." I live with that statement every day. Do or do not, there is no try. If you're going to go do it. Don't give it the effort as if you were trying. Commit and go for it. That's what you did with this degree. And I urge you to not look back to what was considered the norm of the day before the pandemic and look to how the world has changed and go do and not try. Use the sense of initiative and excitement that you have to push, to innovate, and to establish new paths for those who will follow your footsteps. Do this with confidence and no doubt that you have in your heart what it takes to do and not just try. Before I conclude and continue with the ceremony, I want to share with you that in a way, as you heard in the introduction, I'm also graduating from UIC. I have served as provost, as interim chancellor, and have learned more than you can imagine from you, the students, the faculty, the staff, and this community. You, our students and now graduates, reinforce my own belief in perseverance and tenacity. You reinforce in me that the future is only limited to my imagination and my drive. Therefore, I will be taking you and the entire UIC community with me in spirit when I become chancellor at UMass Amherst. I could not have achieved this without my experience at UIC, and I will be eternally grateful for that. But just like I did a few months ago, facing the unknown, that decision of moving, taking that new job, it tested me. It tested me, and do I have what it takes? Is it the time? And I just remember, do or do not, there is no try. There's a reason why you're getting that call. There's a reason why you're getting this opportunity. There's a reason why you're taking that next step in your careers. Just go do it. Don't think it. Just go do it. You have what it takes. As UIC graduates, each of you will now pick up the mantle of the responsibility from graduates who have preceded you, and you pick up this mantle at one of the most defining moments in our history. When you walk out these doors, please remember to return. We want to hear about your accomplishments. We want you to remain part of the UIC family. Once again, I'm deeply proud of you all. I speak on behalf of our faculty when I say that. It's not just me. It's the whole UIC community. We're extremely proud of all of you. You have my best wishes and confidence that you will go far. Some say you may go to infinity and beyond. Some say you will go to a galaxy far, far away. Some say you will go where no man or person has gone before. Wherever you go, I know you will shine as flames shine. You will shine bright, and I know you will be lighting the way for those that come after you. Congratulations, class of 2023.
Thank you, Interim Chancellor Reyes. It is now my pleasure to introduce Mr. Jeremy Joseph, candidate for and co-president of the Doctor of Dental Medicine program, class of 2023. For greetings from the graduates, Mr. Joseph.
Good morning, family, friends, and fellow graduates. On behalf of the College of Dentistry, it's with great pleasure in welcoming you to the commencement ceremony of the class of 2023. Today, we celebrate the achievements of many residents, PhD candidates, master's candidates, and our very own doctors of dental medicine. This chapter of our lives has been one of our highest accomplishments, one of trials, one of challenges, and paves the way for opportunities to grow. Let's remind ourselves of the countless investments and opportunities offered here. And now it's time to finally deliver to our communities. Congratulations are in order for us completing our dental education. We would also like to extend a heartfelt thank you to our parents, spouses, siblings, extended family, UIC faculty, staff, and mentors who have supported us through both the successes and obstacles that have comprised our journey to today's graduation. What we learn from our time here is that tough times don't last, but tough people do. And having gone through the journey, I see a whole lot of tough people out there. The dedication and commitment during our course of study has been possible because of your encouragement. We thank you for being part of this momentous occasion, and today is the day of triumph of our efforts, and yours as well. While our path have yet to be defined, I know that what this class is going to accomplish has yet to begin. Once again, I'd like to thank God, Mom and Dad, Jeffrin, Merlin, Moan, Ninshu, and Sir Uncle and Chachu Dandy for being here today. Thank you again for allowing me to speak. It's been a huge honor. And I'm pleased to present and congratulate once again the graduating class of 2023.
Thank you, Mr. Joseph. I now have the distinct honor of introducing Dr. Susan Rowan, Interim Dean of the University of Illinois Chicago College of Dentistry. Dr. Rowan is a University of Illinois professor and a proud UIC graduate, receiving her Bachelor of Science and Doctor of Dental Surgery from the College of Dentistry, as well as her Master's in Patient Safety Leadership from the UIC College of Medicine. She completed a teaching fellowship with the College of Medicine's Department of Medical Education and a leadership fellowship with the American Dental Education Association. Dr. Rowan also participates in grant-funded research studies about dentist prescribing patterns in the U.S. Dr. Rowan has served as a faculty member and later as a managing partner, teaching in the predoctoral curriculum since 1984. Prior to accepting the role of interim dean in 2023, Dr. Rowan served as the Executive Associate Dean and Associate Dean for Clinical Affairs at the College of Dentistry. In her executive leadership roles, Dr. Rowan provided administrative support for all clinical services of the college, with a focus on quality improvement and patient safety, Additionally, she has oversight of the physical facilities of the college, including a $22 million infrastructure project completed in 2019. Please welcome Interim Dean of the College of Dentistry, Dr. Susan Rowan.
Thank you, Dr. Hannah. This is one of the most special days of our lives here, and we're so excited to celebrate with everyone. I greet on my own our graduates, the parents, the spouses, the family, friends, our faculty, staff, and the administration of the university and the dental college that are here with us today. I am deeply honored and humbled to stand before you. Our gathering today celebrates the energy and the liveliness of the UIC College of Dentistry community and our collective commitment to better oral health through excellence in education, extraordinary patient care, transformative research, and advocacy. The graduates we honor today represent the promise of tomorrow. With our students and residents' exceptional records of academic achievement and clinical excellence, they are clearly on their way to becoming capable, confident, and patient-centered practitioners who will uplift and enrich the field of dentistry. They embody the spirit that we promote at our institution, to do good and to give back. And their commitment ignites possibilities for a new generation of dental leaders. Our mission is accomplished through the diligent, altruistic work of many, many hearts, minds, and hands of dedicated faculty up here on the stage, and again, our extraordinary staff members. A sincere thank you as well to the families. We've been thanking you this morning, and we mean this sincerely, and the friends who supported our graduates throughout their educational journey. You are all well aware, I'm sure, of the long days and sometimes even longer nights, hard work and perseverance that's required to achieve the degrees and the certificates that will be awarded this morning. Your support in innumerable ways uplifted our students as you encouraged and cheered them on. And to our graduates, let me congratulate each and every one of you for completing some of the most exciting, hopefully fun-filled, yet challenging years of your lives. This is a moment worthy of reflection, recognition, and most of all, celebration. Congratulations are certainly in order. Today, you'll be closing the door on your dental school journey, hopefully with gratitude and appreciation, and with anticipation of the approach to new doors that will be in your path ahead. And it's those doors, the ones you see on the horizon already, the indiscernible ones far off in the distance, and the unforeseen ones that you only stumble upon, I want us to think about today. The Indian philosopher Jiddu Krishnamurti once said, "In oneself lies the whole world, and if you know how to look and learn, the door is there. The key is in your hand. Nobody on earth can give you either the key or the door to open except yourself." And we encounter entryway doors daily, and they're all a little different. Some doors swing easily open and welcome us in. Others require a lot of encouragement or perhaps another set of hands to help us open them. Some doors present risk to us. For others, we may very well need that key. The most memorable door I encountered was a lifetime ago, way back in 1980. It was heavy and foreboding to me. It raised my insecurities and ignited a lot of self-doubt. And quite ironically, given my role today, it was the very door to our dental school. While I had achieved a degree in dental hygiene, I was intrigued by the prospect of becoming a dentist. For months and months, I stared at that proverbial door to the University of Illinois College of Dentistry, anxious, nervous, unsure. At that time, dental schools were about 90% male, and students largely came from established, well-known universities. I questioned my ability to measure up. I wondered if I, a shy girl, believe it or not, from the south side of Chicago, who had attended a local junior college, could make it. I walked through those doors at Polk and Paulina that first day absolutely terrified. I was certain that everybody else was far better prepared, smarter, and more certain that they belonged there. Maybe you recall some of these same emotions on the first day that you walked into our doors. Over time, though, I learned that I was ready, and I did measure up, just like you all have. And just like every other dental student, I endured the all-night study sessions, setting umpteenth denture teeth just the right way in the right order, taking what seemed like a million performance exams, and survived that patient that just never could seem to get that appointment time right. And that probably sounds familiar to you too. When I graduated, I didn't know how the future would lead, and I left confident and thankful, and I do trust that you feel that same way today. That door closing behind afforded me new opportunities and exposed a new set of doors, many I would never have seen if not for walking through that door at the dental school that first day. And throughout these 30-plus years, I've encountered many other doors. At nearly every entrance, I've tried to pause and take stock of who I am, where I'm going. I've closed my eyes, taken a deep breath, pushed through, often with the nudges of support from others. And I stand here today better for those choices. As none of us knows what the future holds, my advice to you: embrace the unknown. Recognize you are prepared to open any door you choose. You are strong and capable. And I suspect that you're going to be pleasantly surprised by the doors that you encounter and the adventures that you will embark upon when you make the choice to open a door and walk forward, maybe pulling someone else along with you. After all, it's important to be positive stewards for others. It will enrich their life and yours as well. I would also urge you to be aware of those doors that might appear suddenly, unexpectedly, maybe magically. I was recently speaking to a UIC College of Dentistry 2010 alum, a graduate of the program, who described his very successful but ultimately unfulfilling time that he had in private practice for the first 5 or 6 years after graduating. And he told me that one day, at a point in time when he was really reassessing his career and his life choices, he stepped onto an elevator in his apartment building and struck up a conversation with a stranger. This woman happened to run a dental public health clinic and offered her business card to him after they had this conversation. And with that small card in his hand and a little bit of time and thoughtful consideration, he followed up with her. And he ended up taking the exit door from private practice, and he entered public health. Entrenched in public health today, he shared that he's loving it. The work, he told me, literally feeds his soul. And yet he never would have seen that opportunity coming. A door presented itself, and he entered, and he never looked back. So I urge you to pay attention to anything that sparks your interest or inspires you. I implore you to prioritize action and be open to new opportunities. Do or don't, according to Dr. Reyes. Sometimes what exists on the other side of the door can really change your life. And yes, sometimes the door might not open, even after a tremendous effort of pushing against it. That might be for the best. Some doors are better left closed, and your purpose, it turns out, may lie elsewhere. Or a window may be the next opportunity that could be safer for you. Be wary of those who might try to drag you through a door that may only lead to heartache and failure, or those who close doors in other people's faces. Trust your instincts and learn to know your real allies. And surely you'll make a mistake. You'll enter one door or bypass another, and the outcome will rattle you. That's part of the human experience, and no path is ever smooth. But when you stumble, rise, take inventory of your health and your spirit, and approach the next doors all the wiser. Class of 2023, my fellow alumni, your UIC College of Dentistry education has given you the keys to unlock so many doors. Go forth with confidence, purpose, and an open mind, and know that you have the knowledge and the skills to succeed. In the words of prominent 20th century scientist George Washington Carver, education is the key to unlock the golden door of freedom. Congratulations and all the best to you as you exit this door and march straight into your exciting future. Thank you.
As we start the recognition of the candidates, a recording of the name of the candidates will be played as they walk across the stage. In the event of technical difficulties, the candidate's name will be read by faculty. Please be patient to ensure that all graduates have the best experience possible. Candidates from the College of Dentistry's postgraduate education programs will now be presented to Interim Dean Rowan, Executive Vice President Jones, Interim Chancellor Reyes, Vice Chancellor Barish, Vice Chancellor Groden, and Assistant Dean Ford. Dr. Bradford Johnson, Department Head and Director of the Endodontics Postdoctoral Program, and Dr. Stephen Weeks, Clinical Assistant Professor, will present the candidates of the Department of Endodontics Class of 2023. Dr. Michael Harner, Associate Dean for Finance and Administration, and Mr. Kevin Robbins, Executive Director of Development, will provide the candidates with their diploma covers and awards.
Interim Dean Rowan, Executive Vice President Jones, Interim Chancellor Reyes, Vice Chancellor Barish, Vice Chancellor Groden, and Assistant Dean Ford. We proudly present the following candidates from the Endodontics Postdoctoral Program, Class of 2023.
Dr. Patrick John Clark.
Dr. Sue Bin Park. Dr. John Tuan Tran. Dr. Jacqueline Marie Wazinski.
Thank you, Dr. Johnson and Weeks. Dr. Michael Maloro, Department Head, and Dr. Michael Hahn, Director of the Oral and Maxillofacial Surgery Postdoctoral Program, will present the candidates of the Oral and Maxillofacial Surgery Postdoctoral Class of 2023.
Interim Dean Rowan, Executive Vice President Jones, Interim Chancellor Reyes, Vice Chancellor Barish, Vice Chancellor Groden, and Assistant Dean Ford. We proudly present the following candidates from the Oral and Maxillofacial Surgery Postdoctoral Program, Class of 2023.
Dr. John Anderson. Dr. Seth R. Eben. Dr. Andrew Griebel.
Thank you, Drs. Maloro and Hahn. Dr. Sath Alareddy, Department Head of Orthodontics, and Dr. Budi Kuznodo, Director of Orthodontic Postdoctoral Program, will present the candidates of the Orthodontics Postdoctoral Class of 2023.
Interim Dean Rowan, Executive Vice President Jones, Interim Chancellor Reyes, Vice Chancellor Barris, Vice Chancellor Groden, and Assistant Dean Ford, we proudly present the following candidates from the Orthodontics Postdoctoral Program Class of 2023.
Dr. Phoeba M. Abraham. Dr. Jessica Ann Begley. Dr. Sarah Kong.
Dr. Sophie Ju-Hyung Moon. Dr. Alexandria Lauren Rozgani. Dr. Chandani Shukla. Dr. Young Jae Sung. Dr. Kayla Courtney Yip.
Thank you, Drs. Alaretti and Kuznodo. Dr. David Avenetti, Department Head of Pediatric Dentistry, and Dr. Brittany Hill, Director of Pediatric Dentistry Postdoctoral Program, will present the candidates of the Pediatric Dentistry Postdoctoral Class of 2023.
Interim Dean Rowan, Executive Vice President Jones, Interim Chancellor Reyes, Vice Chancellor Barish, Vice Chancellor Groden, and Assistant Dean Ford. We proudly present the following candidates from the Pediatric Dentistry Postdoctoral Program, Class of 2023.
Dr. Amy Chinchilla. Dr. Lydia J.L. DeYoung. Dr. Diamond Volida Grady Williams. Dr. Muna Siraj Hakim. Dr. Alana Carey Kramer.
Dr. Kayla L. Moeller. Dr. Gabriela Cristina Cavetto. Dr. Linda Ruin.
Thank you, Drs. Avenetti and Hill. Dr. Salvador Nares, Department Head of Periodontics, and Dr. Dwayne Caritude, Director of Periodontics, Postdoctoral Program, will present the candidates of the Periodontics Postdoctoral Class of 2023.
Executive Vice President Jones, Interim Chancellor Reyes, Vice Chancellor Barish, Vice Chancellor Groden, and Assistant Dean Ford, we proudly present the following candidates for the Periodontics Postdoctoral Program, Class of 2023.
Dr. Orlando Jose Abreu. Dr. Mohammed Ahmad Takriti. Dr. Amita Hezarkhani.
Dr. Jordan Michael Pierce.
Thank you, Drs. Neres and Keritu. Dr. Rand Harlow, Department Head of Restorative Dentistry, and Dr. Dima Gunaim, Director of the Prosthodontics Postdoctoral Program, will present the candidates of the Prosthodontics Postdoctoral Class of 2023.
Interim Dean Rowan, Executive Vice President Jones, Interim Chancellor Reyes, Vice Chancellor Barish, Vice Chancellor Grodin, and Assistant Dean Ford, we proudly present the following candidates from the Prosthodontics Postdoctoral Program, Class of 2023.
Dr. Stephen James Cox. Dr. Mariana Fernandez Lozada. Dr. Chaninan J. Sada Chrysorn.
Dr. Mohammed Kasim Omeshi. Dr. Alex Kumi Sapong. Dr. Dalia Anmar Abdulnoor Waya.
Thank you, Drs. Harlow and Gunaim. Ladies and gentlemen, please recognize the class of 2023 graduates of the Advanced Dental Education programs with your applause. Congratulations. Dr. Christina Nicholas, Director of Graduate Studies, will present the class of 2023 candidates for the Master of Science in Oral Sciences degree.
Thank you. Interim Dean Rowan, Executive Vice President Jones, Interim Chancellor Reyes, Vice Chancellor Barish, Vice Chancellor Grodin, and Assistant Dean Ford, upon the recommendation of the faculty and by vote of the Senate, I have the honor to present these candidates for the Masters of Science in Oral Sciences. All of the candidates for the Masters of Science in Oral Sciences came up on the stage earlier when they were recognized for their postdoctoral program. We will now recognize them again for the Master of Science in Oral Sciences degree. Will the candidates for the Master of Science in Oral Sciences degree please stand if you are able when your name is called, and remain standing until all candidates' names have been called. Thank you for your enthusiasm. Dr. Fibra Abraham. Dr. Orlando Abreu. Dr. Mohammed Al-Takriti. Dr. Jessica Begley. Dr. Amy Chinchilla. Dr. Patrick Clark. Dr. Stephen Cox. Dr. Lydia DeYoung. Dr. Mariana Fernandez Lozada. Dr. Diamond Grady Williams. Dr. Muna Hakim. Dr. Armida Hezarkhani. Dr. Chaninan Jadza Chrysorn. My apologies. Dr. Sarah Kang. Dr. Alana Kramer. Dr. Kayla Moeller. Dr. Sophie Moon. Dr. Mohammed Omishi. Dr. Sue Park. Dr. Jordan Pierce. Dr. Gabriela Quevedo. Dr. Alexandria Rosgani. Dr. Linda Ruan. Dr. Alex Sarpong. Dr. Chandani Shukla. Dr. Youngjae Sung. Dr. John Tran. Dr. Dalia Waya. Dr. Jacqueline Wysinski. and Dr. Kayla Yip. If you are receiving the Master of Science in Oral Sciences degree and I did not call your name, please stand if you are able. Thank you.
Very good. So upon these recommendations and by the authority of the Board of Trustees, I confer upon each of you the degree of Masters of Science in Oral Sciences for which you have been presented, and I admit you to all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities of that degree. Congratulations.
Thank you, Dr. Nicholas. Ladies and gentlemen, please recognize the class of 2023 graduates of the Master of Science with your applause. Once again, congratulations. Interim Chancellor Reyes and Dr. Darrell Pendleton, Associate Dean for Student and Diversity Affairs, will confer the Doctoral of Dental Medicine degrees.
Will the Doctor of Dental Medicine program and Doctor of Dental Medicine Advanced Standing Degree program, class of 2023, please stand if you're able? Interim Dean Rowan, Executive Vice President Jones, Interim Chancellor Reyes, Vice Chancellor Barish, Vice Chancellor Groden, and Assistant Dean Ford. Upon the recommendation of the faculty and by the vote of the Senate, I have the honor to present these candidates for the degree of Doctor of Dental Medicine.
Upon these recommendations, and by the authority of the Board of Trustees, I confer upon each of you the degree of Doctor of Dental Medicine for which you have been presented, and I admit you to all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities of that degree. Congratulations.
Graduates, please be seated. Dr. Priscilla Chang, Clinical Associate Professor, and Dr. Adriana Semprum, Co-Director of the Doctor of Dental Medicine Advanced Standing Degree Program, will present the class of 2023 graduates of the Doctor of Dental Medicine Degree Program. Managing Partners Dr. Fatemeh Afshari, Dr. Zabi Ahmadi, Dr. Michael Dunlap, Dr. Stephanie Ward, and Dr. Judy Yuan, along with Golden Apple Award winners Dr. Seema Ashrafi, Co-Director of the Doctor of Dental Medicine Advanced Standing Program, and Dr. Sharif Mohammed, Clinical Assistant Professor of Restorative Dentistry, will hood the graduates of the Doctor of Dental Medicine Degree Program, Class of 2023.
Interim Dean Rowan, Executive Vice President Jones, Interim Chancellor Reyes, Vice Chancellor Barish, Vice Chancellor Groden, and Assistant Dean Ford. It is a pleasure to present the following graduates from the Doctor of Dental Medicine degree program.
Dr. Buhesa Abdelkafi. Dr. Alina Acosta Morales. Dr. Adekumbi Bakiat Adefeso. Dr. Kyle M. Adkins.
Hooded by brother, Dr. Ryan Adkins.
Dr. Fayek F. Amar. Dr. Jihad Fahed Amar. Dr. Courtney Michelle Akandi. Dr. William Akigbe. Dr. Reem Al-Ramli. Dr. Zainab Al-Abed.
Hooded by her father, Dr. Emad Alamat.
Dr. Haider Al-Dali.
Hooded by his wife, Dr. Noor Ibrahim.
Dr. Abdul Rahman Z. Al-Duri. Dr. Shannon M. Allen. Dr. Rami Al-Masalki.
Hooded by father, Dr. Mohammed Al-Masalki.
Dr. Zainab Mufid Al-Sheikh Hassan.
Hooded by husband, Dr. Faisal Sadoun, and sister, Dr. Noor Hassan.
Dr. Abdul Al-Turkmani.
Hooded by mother, Dr. Farash Al-Sarash.
Dr. Ekaterini Aphrodite Andriatos. Dr. Mohammed I. Bader. Dr. Talian Suella Bakala Panzu.
Quoted by her spouse, Dr. Niels Badia.
Dr. Jamie M. Bandy. Dr. Leslie Y. Bonos. Dr. Anthony Abe Baroud. Dr. Ahad Berkdar.
Hooded by husband, Dr. Nasaldin Al-Shihan.
Dr. Shanaz Rohinton Bathena.
Hooded by sister, Dr. Sanaya Rohinton Batina.
Dr. Arbella Bithu. Dr. Lina Fernanda Bobadilla Bejo.
Hooded by sisters, Dr. Laura and Dr. Claudia Bobadilla Bello.
Dr. Maria Bodner. Dr. Maxima G. Bouvanier. Dr. Jonathan Austin Buen Garib.
Quoted by grandfather, Dr. Wilfredo Buen, and mother, Rosemarie Buen.
Dr. Rahim Ahmad Butt. Dr. Ugana Densomaida Chapela. Dr. Ganesh Prasad Chaudhary. Dr. Rebecca Joanne Choi. Dr. Carlos Emilia Copello. Dr. Mario Emilio Copello. Dr. Heather Curcio. Dr. Brian C. Curry. Dr. Muath A. Darlsha.
Hooded by the spouse, Dr. Isra Nashar.
Dr. Selvi Mahalakshmi Das Perkayastha.
Hooded by brother-in-law, Dr. Varun Rata.
Dr. Priyanka Hardik Dolu. Dr. Amy Diaz. Dr. Natalia Duque Ocampo.
Hooded by her mother, Dr. Mireya Ocampo.
Dr. Susmita C. Edukathario.
Hooded by her mother, Dr. Susan Edukuthario.
Dr. Christina Maria Francisco. Dr. Saad Ghani.
Hooded by father, Dr. Abdul Ghani.
Dr. Nicholas P. Gergis.
Hooded by father, Dr. Philip Gergis.
Dr. Christopher E. Gock. Dr. Shuchi Goyal. Dr. Caroline Lucille Green.
Hooded by father, Dr. John Green.
Dr. Arfina Gregorian. Dr. Rhonda Summer Habal.
Hooded by Sister Dr. Renee Habal and Father Dr. Wilden Habal.
Dr. Anthony Franklin Hall. Dr. Ilona Hassan Balio. Dr. Semali Hila.
Hooded by her cousin, Dr. Marinela Dilo.
Dr. Monica S. Hochberg. Dr. Alvaro Jose Horta Caicedo. Dr. Nora Jendali.
Hooded by Father Dr. Madeline Jandali and Brother Dr. Danny Jandali.
Dr. Catherine J. Jensen. Dr. German M. Joseph.
Hooded by Father Dr. Matthew Joseph.
Dr. Murthy Kanal Kapadia.
Hooded by sister-in-law, Dr. Krupa Madhu and brother Akshar Kapadia.
Dr. Yahenia Karzin. Dr. Karandeep Kaur. Dr. Indu Kirapalan. Dr. Pamela J. Kowalik. Dr. Mataush Tomas Kurtika.
Hooded by brother Dr. Luke Kurtika and spouse Dr. Kamil Sidotnikov.
Dr. Inish Lau. Dr. Angelica Aroliano. Dr. Amy Samantha Lynn.
Dr. Mark A. Masak. Dr. Kevin O. Madere. Dr. Faraj Machi.
Voted by aunt Dr. Juliet Solomon and cousin Dr. Ophelia Nazar.
Dr. Pooja Jamin Makadia.
Voted by husband Dr. Hamin Makadia and brother Dr. Sumit Patel.
Dr. Patrick William Malone. Dr. Nirja Dheeraj Mamanya. Dr. Axel Sebastian Benjamin Mancia. Dr. Nicole Manob. Dr. Rana R. Mussin.
Voted by husband Dr. Omar Al-Sayed.
Dr. Wanda Wynn. Dr. Adeshewa A. Odedina. Dr. Jun-Hwan Park.
Hooded by mother, Dr. Yoon Jung-an.
Dr. Apurva Nilekumar Patel. Dr. Dwani Ankur Patel. Dr. Kea Sam Patel. Dr. Kishan H. Patel.
Hooded by mother, Dr. Nita Patel.
Dr. Mayank Kumar S. Patel. Dr. Nisha Bhavik Patel. Dr. Yasemin Nicole Pajam. Dr. Simona Pilvalis. Dr. Jessica Poon. Dr. Julius S. Prince.
Hooded by father, Dr. Clifford Prince.
Dr. Alan Daniel Kirarte. Dr. Christian Adrian Robles. Dr. Martin McHenry Ryan. Dr. Miriam Abdul Karim Saada.
Hooded by father, Abdul Karim Sada, and mother, Dr. Iman Sada.
Dr. Charlotte N. Salome. Dr. Roger Salazar. Dr. Jaquan Savage.
Hooded by Aunt Dr. Wanda Parker Dawson.
Dr. Samantha J. Schaller. Dr. Connor Stephen Schroyer.
Hooded by Father Dr. Steve Schroyer.
Dr. Lalita Reddy Shada. Dr. Jenel Shah. Dr. Maitri M. Shah.
Hooded by cousin Dr. Prutha Desai.
Dr. Priya Kamlesh Kumar Shah.
Hooded by cousin Prutha Desai.
Dr. Surud Jitendra Shah.
Hooded by cousin Dr. Prutha Desai.
Dr. Priyanka Sharma. Dr. Sheikh Shizan.
Hooded by spouse Dr. Yasmin Sultana.
Dr. Susie Subin Shin. Dr. Hassan Y. Siddiqui.
Hooded by wife Dr. Nada Iftikhar.
Dr. Stephen B. Steiner. Dr. Jitu Rose Thomas.
Hooded by sister Dr. Ritu Elizabeth Joseph.
Dr. Brooke M. Wilson. Dr. Monica Gergis Rafia Yekub.
Tutored by cousin Dr. Irene Jacob Mikhail.
Dr. Ji Young Yoon. Dr. Shafak Youssef.
Tutored by her sister Dr. Gassak Youssef.
Dr. Jiho Yoon. Dr. Tarfa Zubeidi.
Dr. Buhesa Abdelkafi.
Ladies and gentlemen, please recognize the class of 2023 graduates of the Doctor of Dental Medicine degree program with your applause. Congratulations. Will all the graduates of the class of 2023 please stand if you are able? I now invite Dr. Scott Tomar, Associate Dean of Prevention and Public Health Sciences, to the stage to lead the graduates in the Dentist's Pledge.
Okay. Will the class of 2023 please stand and join me in reading the Dentist's Pledge found on page 7 of the red Commencement program booklet. Please recite the pledge along with me. As a member of the dental profession, I shall keep this pledge and these stipulations. I understand and accept that my primary responsibility is to my patients, and I shall dedicate myself to render, to the best of my ability, the highest standard of oral health care, and to maintain a relationship of respect and confidence. Therefore, let all come to me safe in the knowledge that their total health and well-being are my first consideration. I shall accept the responsibility that, as a professional, my competence rests on continuing the attainment of knowledge and skill in the arts and sciences of dentistry. I acknowledge my obligation to support and sustain the honor and integrity of the profession, and to conduct myself in all endeavors such that I shall merit the respect of patients, colleagues, and my community. I further commit myself to the betterment of my community for the benefit of all society. I shall faithfully observe the principles of ethics and code of professional conduct set forth by the profession. All this I pledge with pride in my commitment to the profession and the public it serves. Congratulations. You may be seated.
I would like to take a moment to acknowledge an additional honored guest today. Mohammed Haq is the UIC student member to the University of Illinois Board of Trustees. I understand he'll be pursuing a career in dentistry, so maybe he'll be a candidate in this ceremony in the future. It is now my sincere pleasure to introduce Dr. Samantha Schaller and Dr. Mario Capello, co-presidents of the class of 2023, Doctor of Dental Medicine and Doctor of Dental Medicine Advanced Standing Degree programs, respectively, to provide remarks on behalf of today's graduates.
Good morning. Hi, Mom and Dad. It's my honor to speak to you today on behalf of the DMD class of 2023. But what kind of graduation speech would it be without a quote? I have one from Theodore Roosevelt, which I think is particularly fitting. Believe that you can, and you are halfway there. In the case of dental school, if you believe that you can, you're more like a quarter of the way there. For the remainder, you need an incredible amount of perseverance, intelligence, discipline, and especially good humor. The 65 people of the DMD class embody these qualities and more. It has been a privilege to be part of this outstanding group of people. But of course, we didn't get here on our own. The support of our families and friends, classmates, faculty, and staff was indispensable. We literally couldn't have done it without you. So please, let's have a round of applause to the class of 2023 and to those who listened to our endless complaints, wiped all of our tears, encouraged us to keep going when we wanted to give up, and are here to celebrate us today. So what was it that made dental school so hard? Was it actually that challenging, or are we just a bunch of whiners? I lost my place. I'm a whiner. Okay. Here, yeah. I'll take you through the short version of our 4 years here to help you decide. In our first year, we experienced what I would call an onslaught. Anatomy, physiology, biochemistry, histology, pharmacology, introductory lectures for dentistry, plus exams every 3 weeks with quizzes and plenty of assignments in between. We learned how to cooperate as a class over group cases, endless lectures, and long nights studying. Most of us even learned how to use a Bunsen burner correctly. In our second year, we started on the good stuff, real dental procedures on mannequins. This is when we learned that it is called the practice of dentistry because we do, unfortunately, need to practice to improve. In addition to those long nights studying, we spent our nights working on our hand skills again and again and again. And pretty much all of us were terrible at first. Due to the pandemic, we became unwilling experts at using Zoom. Due to the mask mandate, we forgot each other's faces, but became overly familiar with the smell of our own breath. In our third year, we started working in the clinics with real patients. It turns out that this is almost nothing like working on a mannequin. If the mannequin was a bike with training wheels, this was like riding a motorcycle on the highway, where the highway is full of potholes in the form of licensure exams and RVUs. We learned to be accountable to our patients and to ourselves with our quality of work, and we improved a lot. And finally, here we are in our fourth year, ready to graduate and to follow the analogy, licensed to ride a motorcycle. But I think the most important lesson of this year is that we aren't done learning. Although we are graduating from UIC College of Dentistry today, we're about to enter our D5 year. It's just that the next program we'll be attending is a little less formal. Whatever step you take next, whether it's residency, public health, corporate, academia, private practice, or something entirely different, I hope you tackle it with as much fervor as you did this program for the past 4 years. Because this time, you don't just have to believe that you can do it. Now you know you can. We can all look back on our time here and be proud of what we accomplished. We can also look forward and be confident in who we will become. So, to the class of 2023, be proud, be curious, be kind, and most importantly, be great. Congratulations.
Great words. Good morning, everyone. My name is Mario Capello, proud president of the Advanced Standing Class of 2023. And it is my pleasure to be talking today on behalf of my awesome DMD AES class. Dear classmates, if you're sitting down today appreciating this great ceremony, it's not just because you survived dental school. It's because you also successfully set up 1,953 teeth for your dentures. I ask for a round of applause of Dr. Ten. Thank you, Dr. Ten. As international dentists, we face unique challenges and hurdles to reach to this point. We have to navigate a whole new country, culture, and language while also adapting to the rigorous demands of dental education. We have worked tirelessly to overcome these challenges, and we should be immensely proud of our accomplishments. As we look back on our journey, it is important to acknowledge the support and guidance we have received along the way, to our faculty members who have taught us, mentored us, and believed in us. Thank you so much for your tireless dedication to our education, your knowledge, wisdom, and mentorship that have been invaluable to us. We are grateful for all that you've done. To our families and friends who have stood by us, encouraged us, and provided us with emotional support we needed. Thank you so much for always being there. But most importantly, we should take this moment to celebrate ourselves, our perseverance, and our resilience. We push ourselves to the new limits and have achieved success through our hard work and determination. As we prepare to embark on the next phase of our careers, let us remember the lessons we've learned, the skills we've developed, and the passion that brought us to this moment. Let us embrace the challenges that lie ahead with confidence, knowing that we have the knowledge and the skills to overcome them. To conclude, I want to congratulate everyone for reaching this milestone. We've proven that with hard work and dedication, anything is possible. I do not doubt that you will go on to do great things, and I wish you all the best as you embark on the next phase of your career. Let us continue to make a positive impact in the world of dentistry and beyond, and let us always remember the lessons and experiences that brought us here. Like I always say, be the best version of yourself, be kind to others, work very hard, and hey, do not forget to smile. We did it, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Schaller and Capello. It is now my pleasure to introduce Dr. Diamond Grady Williams, representative of the postgraduate class of 2023, Pediatric Dentistry Program, to speak on behalf of today's postgraduates.
Good morning, everyone. It is my honor to speak on the behalf of the class of 2023 postgraduate students, which are a group of students who decided 4 years of dental school was not enough and decided to go back for what our family and friends say, more school. But it is those of us who found a passion in a particular specialty field and decided to go for it. We all come from diverse backgrounds and experiences and from different dental schools all over the world. However, it is our passion for dental health and specialty care which brings us together. As both a UIC Dental School graduate of class of 2021 and now a pediatric dentistry residency graduate, I will say that they have both brought their own challenges. But residency presented new struggles, new learning curves, and new roadblocks. However, it has given us some of the best friendships. You see, residency puts us in a small group, and we spend so much time together that we have no choice but to form special bonds with one another. We've shared some of the hardest days together, but we've also shared our best days together, like traveling out of the state or the country to go to each other's weddings. We'll miss the inside jokes, the laughs, the tears, the private conversations, and the support from one another on the tough days. We'll miss the things that only our co-residents would understand because no one else quite gets it. While it has not been easy to get to where we are today, UIC has prepared us for success. We've grown so much, not just as clinicians, but as humans. We are wiser, we are more empathetic, we know how to bounce back and make it through anything, even the hard things. We are patient, we are persistent, we are determined, and residency has definitely humbled us. All of these are traits that will take us very far in our lives and in our careers. As we close this chapter and begin to open a new one, reflect on the lifelong friendships we've made, the instructors we've been able to learn from, the mentors we've gained, and all the patients whose lives we've touched. Hold tight to the special memories that may have seemed daunting at the time but will one day miss. Lastly, I encourage you to say thank you to those who have helped us get where we are today. Our support system, our loved ones, our mentors, our co-residents, and the amazing faculty at UIC. We could not have done it without all of you. I wish you all much success in your careers. You should be so proud of all you've accomplished. Never stop learning and never forget why you started anyway. Congratulations.
Thank you. Congratulations to the degree and certificate graduates of the University of Illinois Chicago College of Dentistry class of 2023. You've worked hard and are well prepared to pursue your chosen career. We wish you success in all you do, and we hope to see you often in the future. Will the audience please remain seated until the platform party, faculty, and graduates depart the hall. On behalf of Interim Dean Rowan, I extend to all an invitation to join us at a reception to celebrate this happy occasion at the UIC College of Dentistry building located on Polk and Paulina Streets. I now adjourn the University of Illinois Chicago College of Dentistry 2023 commencement. The platform party will lead the recessional, followed by the College of Dentistry faculty and the graduating class. Will the family hooders and graduates please remain seated until prompted to exit by the marshals?